Welcome to my channel, The Orchid Hut. My name is Dana, and today's video is going to be about another dendrobium in my collection that needs a winter rest. A few days ago I posted a video about the white variety of my Dendrobium anosmum, and we talked about how I would be giving it a winter rest this year. Well, this orchid today was actually shipped in the same box as the Dendrobium in the previous video from Hawaii. So I received them at the very same time. This Dendrobium is Little Sweet Scent. It's a primary hybrid between Dendrobium anosmum and Dendrobium parisi. So this orchid also requires a winter rest. As the name implies, the blooms should be fragrant. And last year, when I received it, it kind of came in the same shape as the other Dendrobium. There were bare canes in a small pot, only a few leaves, and roots were kind of all over the place. So last winter, I was simply trying to keep the orchid alive, and then in the spring I repotted it. And once I untangled all of the dried canes, I decided to actually put it in two separate pots. And just like the previous Dendrobium, the new growths, I wasn't entirely sure whether they were keikis that were pretty close to the base of the plant, or if they were actually new growths from the base. But in any case, I think I had better success with this Dendrobium than I did with the Dendrobium anosmum in the previous video. So let's have a look at the first one. When I repotted this in the spring, it had these three mostly bare canes. I don't think these ever had leaves, and this cane had maybe 3 or 4 leaves at the top, and it is just now beginning to drop the older leaves. And this year's growth was this pretty healthy cane considering what I started with, then a cane that was a bit shorter, and then a third cane about the same size as the second one. And some of the lower leaves are beginning to turn yellow on these canes. This orchid is supposed to be deciduous, but we'll have to see if it's actually more like semi-deciduous, just like the previous orchid. But these canes are really healthy. They have their terminal leaf, so they will not be getting any longer in length. The terminal leaf is there, and then the same for this one. So they won't be growing any longer, although they may be still putting on just the tiniest bit of thickness, but I think that growth has ended as well. So earlier in the week, this pot got a really good flush, and I will no longer be feeding it throughout the fall, the remainder of the fall and the winter, and I will only be giving it water if I see these canes start to shrivel, and then if I do water it, it won't be very much. The root development is difficult to tell. I do see some roots on top of the pot. You can maybe see some through the bottom of the pot, like there's some right there that you can see through the pot. And this one hangs outside in a pendulous fashion, just like the previous Dendrobium. Okay, so let's look at what happened in the smaller pot. When I repotted this, I had, I don't know, just like some canes that were just small, and I didn't want to just dispose of them, so I put this one cane along with like this other smaller one in a pot by themselves. I didn't hold out much hope that much would happen, but it did grow some canes this year. And again, Hard to tell if they're coming from the base or if they were meant more to be keikis on those older canes. But in any event, it did grow this cane. Not, you know, anything to get super excited about, but again, given what I started with, it didn't do badly. And this cane, and this older one underneath is now beginning to lose its leaves. And this was a new growth, a really small one for this year. And there is a little bit of algae in this pot, so I'll probably be repotting it next year. It's difficult to see the roots in the pot because of that, but there are a few roots that I can see through the opaqueness of the pot. Okay, so this is my almost first year with Dendrobium Sweet Scent. We will see how it goes. I'll be hoping for blooms in the spring, and if I see that beginning to happen, I will come back and give an update on this orchid. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and the subscribe button will be in the lower right hand corner of the screen. You can find me now on Facebook and Instagram under the name The Orchid Hut. Talk to you soon.